Hi guys, and welcome back to another video Game with the Powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video, I am bringing you another episode in our Learn and Play series. If this is your first time watching a Learn and Play video from us, essentially what I do, guys, is split the video into two parts. Part one of the video, I give an overview and show you guys how to play the game so that you can learn it. And then part number two, I do kind of like a preview of a couple rounds or turns of that game, show you what a playthrough of a couple rounds or turns of that game is, so that you can see how the game is played. Hence our Learn and Play tagline. The board game that we're going to be featuring in today's video is going to be Santorini the Pantheon Collector's Edition. Now, Santorini Pantheon Collector's Edition, guys, is just a deluxeified, upgraded version of the classic board game Santorini, which is published by Roxley. And Santorini is a game for 2 to 4 players, ages 8+, right around 20 minutes per playthrough. This is designed by Gord and Hamilton, and our artwork here by Mr. Cuddington. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump down to the table where we can learn and play Santorini together. All right, guys, so we're down here at the table where we got everything set up for a playthrough of Santorini. Now, I do want to note, guys, before we continue with the rest of this video, that this is the deluxeified version of the Pantheon Collector's Edition that you are seeing here. One of these particular things is this Lazy Susan board. This was an optional add-on or upgrade to your pledge level that you could have. In the standard Pantheon Collector's Edition, it would just be a cardboard board that you could slot this island 3D piece into. And the last but not least are the cards here that you see today are going to have an upgraded synth upgrade to them, which basically means they are food proof and waterproof. So if water or food manage to get on these cards, they will slide right off and not stick to them or damage them in any way. All right, guys, I digress. Let's go ahead and jump in and talk about Santorini. Santorini is a very quick, simple, easy game. If you guys are not familiar with it, you will be very familiar with it at the end of this video, hopefully. But the overall goal is simple. Throughout the course of the game, you are going to have workers. And so each player is going to select 2 different workers, and they got a bunch of different workers that you can see down here. And your goal is to get one of these workers on a level 3 structure. So throughout the course of the game, you're going to be moving your workers, you're going to be building these different levels of a structure, and you want to have one of your workers get on top of that level 3 structure just like this. The player that manages to get one of their workers on the top is automatically going to be considered the winner. All right, so how exactly do you go about this? Again, guys, this is very simple and easy. There's only 2 things that you're going to do on your turn. The very first thing is move one of your workers. So you will move one of your workers to a adjacent neighboring space that is unoccupied. So we'll take a look at this worker right here. In this instance, I can move this worker to any of these 5 spaces I would choose. So I would move them into an unoccupied space, and that is the first step of my turn. The second step now is you are going to build anywhere that is adjacent to your worker in an unoccupied space as well. So an occupied space is a space where there is another worker. So in this particular instance, I could not build here. If you have other buildings that are out there, that's okay. That's not considered an unoccupied space. So I moved, and now I can build. So I can build in any of these spaces that is surrounding my worker. Now, when you go ahead and build, you have the ability to build up to 1 level higher than where you are at. So right now we are on the ground level, so we can go ahead and build a level 1 block. Now, there are 3 different levels to the blocks. You have level 1 blocks that look something like this. And so let's say I put a level 1 block down there. You have level 2 blocks that will look like this. So in this instance, let's say I moved here. Since there already is a level 1 block here, I could build a level 2 block onto this spot. And then you have level 3 blocks, which look like this. And again, same circumstance. Let's say I moved into this spot. I could now build a level 3 block in that spot. All right. You do also have what is considered domes. So these are like level 4 blocks, but they just call them domes in the game. Same thing. I can move over in a spot and place a dome on top of this structure here. This is a great way to block your opponent from getting that end game condition. and it also creates that classic Santorini look. Now, the game, you can lose the game if you do get stuck on your turn, meaning you cannot move and then build during your turn. So you must be able to move your worker and build at least one block on your turn. If you are not able to do so, you will automatically lose the game. So that is the move and build step, which are the only two things that you're going to do on your turn. However, there's some formalities that you need to take into account when doing these particular things. So of course, you're probably thinking, how do I get up to the level 3? Well, when you move your worker, you are allowed to move up one level higher than what you are at. So let's say we had a situation that looked just like this, right? I could take this worker, he's on level 0. I can move him into this spot, moving up one level, and now that worker is on level 1. And then the next turn, I could go from level 1 to level 2. And then the turn after that, I could go from level 2 to level 3. So that is how you are gonna get your workers up to that level 3 spot. On your turn, when you are moving, you're allowed to move up one level higher than where your worker is at. You can also move down levels. So let's say I was here, I could move down any number of levels I would like to on your turn. So when moving up, you're only allowed to move up one level. When moving down, you can move down any number of levels. So, well, that would be a win. But if you're coming from a level 2, you could just jump straight down to a level 0. Now, when you build, same thing as I mentioned earlier, builds can be any number of levels. So I could move this worker here to build a dome to block that path off. So you're not restricted by the number of levels when you are building, only when you are moving your particular worker. And the game is simple as that, guys. That's pretty much all you're gonna do. So you would just take turns back and forth. You would move your worker, you would build, and you are trying to get one of your workers up to that level 3 spot in order to win. And again, you will lose if you cannot move and build on your particular turn and you get stuck. Now, what makes Santorini really fun is not this generic basic mode. It is the abundance of god cards that they have in this game that are each going to have an asymmetric power that you guys can distribute on your playthrough to each of the particular characters. And so these particular gods are going to change the way you maybe move, you build, and manipulate the structure of how the base game is played. So for example, let's take a look at a Zeus card, right? Zeus, the god of the sky, says on your build, you may choose not to build normally and instead build a block underneath your moved worker, right? So that is a way that he can change the particular game. We have Bia, just another example. So during the setup phase, players place their workers in clockwise order starting with you. And then after you move, if the next neighboring space in the same direction as your move had an opponent's worker, that worker is removed from the game. So a lot of these different god cards are very powerful, and they do have an abundance of god cards in this game. So these are just kind of the base god cards, and then you have a couple of different expansions with other gods, the Tides of Poseidon, the Seasons of Chaos, Hiding in the Underworld, and Soaring over Olympus. So you can see all of these particular god cards that are in this version of Santorini and a bunch of different ways to spice the game up. Now, they do have your 2-player standard mode, 3-player standard mode, and 4-player standard mode as well. And what I do like on the back of these cards, they have recommended god matchups. So in 2-player games, here are some of these god matchups, because some of these gods are out of control and can really win you a fight. So they got the 3-player matchups and then the 4-player matchups on the back right there. So those are the standard mode. The mode I showed you today is the standard way to play Santorini. Now they do also have this Agora mode, and I can't remember if this was in the original game or not. I don't think so, but this is a fun, unique way to play the game as well, where essentially at the end of a turn, if anybody has a player that has moved up a level, they will roll a die. And if the roll is a 1, 2, or 3, all players will give their god card to the player to the left. So this is a fun, exciting way to play Santorini as well. But that is essentially an overview of the game, guys, and how you are going to play the game. So now what I'm going to do is show you a really quick playthrough of how the game is going to work, and I might actually be able to finish a game. But let's look at the back of this, and let's choose some gods here. Let's go with Oceanus and Atlas. We'll go with these two because I have not played them yet. So we need Oceanus, and there is Oceanus. He will go to the blue player over here, and Atlas will go to the white player. And we'll take a look at what both these gods do and see how they can manipulate on this turn. So we have Oceanus, okay? He says, on your turn, you must complete a move and build with each of your workers. Win restriction, you cannot win normally. To win, 2 of your workers must move up to the 3rd level during the same turn. Wow. Okay, that is going to be an interesting task here for the blue player. And then we have Atlas's card right here. Let's flip him over on the back. On your build, your worker may build a dome at any level. Wow, that is interesting. Interesting way to block our opponents off. Okay, I'm just gonna show you what a quick couple rounds will look like. So Oceanus, the blue player has to move both his workers with a move and a build. So we'll move this guy here and we'll build here. We'll move this guy here and build there. So that is Oceanus' turn. Now, normally on a turn, guys, you're only going to select one of your workers, but remember, Oceanus is going to modify the game with that special power and ability. So Atlas is going to move. Let's move him here and let's build there. So that is Atlas's turn. I'm going to reference Atlas is going to be the white, Oceanus is going to be the blue moving forward, okay? So Oceanus, he will go, let's go here, alrighty, and let's drop that, and then we can go here and drop a level 2, just like that, alrighty. So Atlas is going, Atlas might want to, let's go move here, build a singular block there, and end Atlas's turn. We're going back to Oceanus. We need to move here. Let's build a level 2. Let's build a level 2 here. And then let's move here and build a level 1. All right. Back to Atlas. We are going to move here. Atlas special ability, your worker may build a dome on any level. So he's going to build a dome here, which is going to block off that grouping of blocks now. So Oceanus can no longer use it. So now we're back to Oceanus. So he's going to have to kind of change strategy here. We're going to move here and build this particular block, and then move here and build that block. Alrighty. We would go back to Atlas. Atlas is going to have to do some finagling. Atlas will move here, build a block or build a dome to cut him off, okay? Let's see, Oceanus's turn. He's going to move down a level, and he's going to build a level 1, and then he's gonna move over here and build a level 1. Atlas's turn, let's move here, build a level 2. Back to Oceanus, we are going to, ooh, this is an interesting, okay. So we'll go here for 1, and then we will build a level 3. We're gonna go here and build a level 2. Okay, back to Atlas. We are going to maneuver up 1 level and then build a level 2 or build a level 1 there. Okay, and then we would go back to Oceanus. And so Oceanus is going to, ooh, it's gonna be interesting. Oceanus, I think, is going to move here and then build a level 1, and then move this worker and build a level 1. Alrighty. Atlas is gonna move here, build a level 2. That ends his turn. Back to Oceanus. So he is going to move this worker here and build here. And then this worker here and build a level 1 in this particular corner right there. Back to Atlas. He is going to move here, build a level 3. Alrighty. And then Oceanus's turn. Let's see if he can win on this particular turn. I don't think he can because he has to move both his workers. So we would go move one worker here, put a level 3. We would have to move this worker, put a level 2, and then we would go to Atlas's turn where he would get on the level 3 and Atlas would be the winner. All right, guys, well, look, that is a playthrough here that is a full playthrough here of Santorini Pantheon Collection. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this learn and play video taking a look at Santorini Pantheon Collector's Edition. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit that notification bell, comment down below. Do you guys like Santorini? Have you even played Santorini before? And if you backed this Collector's Edition, what did you guys make of it? Last but not least, guys, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye.